Excelsior, and welcome everybody. Welcome to Thunderbolts Savage, the Marvel Multiverse RPG stream right here on Sword and Key. This game is in support of Living Arts Detroit, and I'm going to say more about that here in a second. But before that, I should say, my name is Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I'm your GM for this game, and I am joined again by these very lovely people for episode 2 of 4. I'm going to have these lovely people say more about themselves in a moment, but to go back to what I said a second ago, yes, this game is in support of Living Arts Detroit. It's an organization based out of Detroit that provides access to arts and theater and all of the stuff that schools don't always really provide based off of funding and everything else, but are still nevertheless super important to growth and development and social interaction. And Living Arts Detroit has done a really great job in the past of providing those services, those programs to youth in the Greater Detroit area. So we try to support them at least once a year, and this has been our big push this year. So thank you so much to you who have donated so far. We already hit our first goal. We bumped it up to our second. You can at any time donate through the Tiltify link that is in chat as well as on all of our socials. And if you do, you can actually impact our game. You can give essentially advantages and crits and all that kind of stuff, but they're called like edge and trouble. You can actually make things a little bit harder for our characters if you want, or you can even provide things like fantastic successes. So give it a look if you're looking to put your money towards a great cause. Living Arts Detroit is absolutely a great cause. I should also say that you can find all of Sword and Key's links at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can join our Discord right up at the top. You can see our affiliates. We've got some really great ones with some discount codes, like 10% off your first purchase at Long Dog Dice. Jen makes incredible dice sets. 10% off your first purchase at Eldritch Foundry for custom minis. And we have an affiliate link with Hit Point Press, the makers of Humblewood and Islands of Siena Una, and animated spell cards, the Griffin Saddlebag books. Lots of really cool stuff there. You can also see all of our other charitable organizations we support, as well as some of our Pally links for some of our games where we try to compensate our players. So check all that out, and I'll talk more about that here at the end. In the meantime, let's have these lovely people go around. So, Anne, if you don't mind starting us out, who are you and who you playing?
Hi. Hi, I'm Anne. My pronouns are she, her, and today I'll be playing Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat.
Absolutely. Next up, we have TV.
Hi, my name is TV. I'm playing Frank Castle, aka the Punisher.
And after the Punisher, we have Buns.
Hey guys, I'm a Buns, pronouns they, them, and I'm playing Typhoid Mary, and also Innocent Mary, and also Bloody Mary, and also somebody who needs water. So,
Yeah. I think we're all at least one of those.
see?
Uh, yeah. Hydration's important. And then last but absolutely not least, we have Cass.
I'm Cass, pronouns she, they, and I'm playing Mark or Steven or Jake. Anyway, we're Moon Knight.
Certainly are. I cast 4 people for this game, and yet their personalities seem to have well overwhelmed that. Or at least their characters' personalities. Again, I shouldn't put that energy necessarily on the people that are playing them. Great. Well, this is Thunderbolts Savage. This is a game of the team, the Thunderbolts, and I know the movie Thunderbolts already changed its title like 3 times, and now it's the New Avengers. Whatever. I feel like that's a cop out. Thunderbolts are cool. They're a team of anti-heroes and villains that are either like earnestly trying to become heroes or are pretending like they're trying to become heroes to get something out of it. I mean, a little bit of both. A little bit of
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do? Our lovely team of Thunderbolts have been tasked with going into the Savage Lands, a portion of Antarctica, which is actually relatively well known in the Marvel universe as being this land hidden from time where dinosaurs roam and mutants make their homes, and you have the Tarzan like character of Khazar and all sorts of just like wild jungle things they all want to compress into this tiny little place that's separated from everything else in the Marvel world. Their Quinjet has been downed. They have lost their Shield agent, Agent Sherman, who wasn't doing that good of a job in the first place. Is it really a loss? I don't know. Nevertheless, they are lost question mark. They know the direction they're supposed to be heading, but the Savage Lands are called that for a reason. And as they've already encountered a dinosaur fight and several seemingly man-made traps that have been laid in wait, perhaps for them, perhaps for something else, the Savage Lands have not been the most welcoming. But as night begins to fall, they're going to have to decide what to do next along their 4-day journey to the United Nations /Shield monitoring station, where they hope to find personnel and intel and hopefully transportation to get them out of these savage lands. I feel like I've said savage a lot. So, with that in mind, you have recovered the hollow cube, essentially the map that describes which direction you're supposed to be heading, gives you some layout of the Shield United Nations headquarters. Has a couple of different settings on it. Against the cube, it has 6 sides to it. Pressing different buttons gets you different holographic images, and you do at least have a map. It doesn't exactly show, you are here, but you can reason that you're close enough to the river, you're moving through the jungle, you're pretty sure you're headed south. With that in mind, let's go ahead and pick up. So, the jungle around you is dense, it's humid, it's close. You've been already Frank with his machete, and Typhoid Mary with, I believe, her katana, Black Cat with the claws. You all have been blazing a path through the dense foliage and brush of the green. Having encountered a larger dinosaur being attacked by smaller raptor-like dinosaurs, one of you shoved a grenade down the throat of one of the dinosaurs and exploded 2 of them in that action, with the other 2 running off after a whistle was heard. So, having left that area, and also, unfortunately, the KIA'd body of Agent Sherman, who fell into a punji pit, what's your next move from here?
Good question.
Actually, make camp, right? I don't know about you, but I don't have anybody who has night vision.
Is the sun going down? Is it starting to get dark?
It's as you were going to continue on. I mean, it's already past midday at this point. You landed, crash landed, probably a little bit afternoon, and as you've been traveling several hours through the jungle, you're getting to the point where, yeah, the sun is getting lower and lower in the sky. The shadows are getting thicker. The forest itself getting darker and darker. So you reason that it will be soon that you will have to make a determination as to whether you're going to keep moving through the night or make camp.
Well, if we're gonna make camp, we're gonna have to figure out a watch system, because I'm not sleeping out here with what's out here.
So, what does that consist of? Like, a few hours, and then I get to kick one of you and say it's your turn?
Yes.
Oh. Can I sleep in a tree?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about you, but the idea of something that can run as fast as the things that I just blew up recently, I feel like I want to be in a higher position.
It's a fair point.
I'm down for a watch system. I don't know about you guys. The thought to survive, and they're just kind of like peeking past them where like the pit is, because I feel like we've moved away from it at least a little bit to have this conversation and aren't just talking next to the pit. But they just sort of like look back towards it like, should we use that so that happens to other things? If we make camp around it and then they come towards us, they're just going to fall in the pit.
Yeah, maybe, but it's also going to attract predators because there's meat down there.
2 things can be true. But also, I feel like you know more about me, more than me in this situation. You do that trudge through the deep in search of justice thing, right?
I don't do justice. I do punishment.
Punishment. But you do it outside a lot.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So this is more of a, oh, you're the Boy Scout. Like tropes. You got like I'm the funny badass. Moon Knight is Moon Knight. Then we have.
I thought I was the funny badass.
Of course you did, darling. Then we have. Wait, which one are you?
I
Me?
guess I'm the hot. I guess.
That they were I was not clear about who I was pointing to. I pointed at your
Oh, okay.
camera like you could see who I was pointing to. I am so sorry. That was for Annie.
To be fair, Typhoid Mary could have been pointing to another personality.
I guess I'm like the pretty. I don't know. I'm the hot one. You know,
The hot one. The only one we have left is the one that does outdoorsy things. And
I'll say this,
everyone
it's been a very
around-
long time since anyone called me the Boy Scout.
Oh, what's an anti-Boy Scout?
I'm a survivor.
There you go.
Survivalist.
You're not
pr- yeah,
gonna
a
give
prepper,
up. You're
yeah.
not gonna stop.
Survivalist.
You're gonna work
I
hard.
feel I feel like that's
We don't
an
have the rights to
appropriate
that
term.
song.
Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah. Doomsday Strike. I feel like Typhoid Mary is establishing a new gender system, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
They don't either.
The 4 genders: outdoorsy, chaotic funny one, the hot one,
And Moon Knight.
and then Moon Knight.
Men Moon
Moon
Knight.
Knight.
Yeah.
And then Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is a whole gender.
It's full.
Straight, bi, queer. No, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. But how does a Moon Knight flirt? The moon beckons you.
And
The
when you're
moon
clicking,
gives me strength.
and when you're clicking those options on a form, it's when it says male, female, non-binary, or like other, and then under that in all capital letters, it says Moon Knight.
Moon
Yeah,
Knight.
it's in all capital letters. Moon Knight.
Mhm.
Exclamation mark.
Get at us, Grinder. Should add that setting.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the watch system goes, I am definitely up for at least doing a 2-3 hours before I pass out from being tired.
It would.
We've been at it for a while.
I'm fine with whoever wants to sleep, however they want to sleep. I would recommend doing it maybe a little bit away from the pit. Just
Yeah.
because I feel like it's going to attract predators, and I don't want to be right next to it. That
Oh.
said, as long as there's somebody up at all times, keeping an eye out on things,
Hmm.
you should be okay.
Ooh. Just gave me permission to be nosy.
I gave you permission to be nosy.
Yeah, you told me to keep my eye on things.
That's the way you want to take that, that's fine. I'll take first watch.
Okay. Are you establishing any kind of shelter, or I guess where would you all like to sleep? You have the undergrowth of the jungle, very mulchy, very damp, decently smelly. You've got some canopies of trees, all depending on how well you want to climb and if you're scared of falling out of them. You do have some rather agile characters, not all the way across the board, but pretty decent. But what's the overall plan? And it could be individual to each of you. It doesn't have to be everybody does the same thing.
I do think Frank is going to be sleeping underneath foliage. I do think he's going to be doing some kind of ghillie suit bullshit where he's like masking his scent.
Go full predator so that you blend into the mud.
Yeah, no, if it weren't for the fact that he like maybe doesn't have everything he usually has, he would have camoed his face at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's created a blind already. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like we went 2 different directions. You're like mud. I'm sitting there like that scene out of Hunger Games where Peter's like
A little bit. It is a little bit that he like. It's a lot of the
you can
times.
decorate cakes. You can camouflage yourself in a wild environment.
It's a
That's
transferable
logic,
skill.
Suzanne Collins.
It's very much that thing of like, could Batman beat blank in a fight or something? And the question in response to that is always, how much prep time does Batman have?
They have.
That's the same thing with Frank. How much prep time does he have?
Fair.
So.
Okay.
That's
So to that, TV, what I would like you to do is do a vigilance roll. This is what I'm going to say is the vigilance is going to count towards him camouflaging himself because he's so aware of everything around him that it will also kind of work in reverse, that he's aware of everything that can observe him as well.
okay. That is a total of 12 for the vigilance roll.
Okay. 12's pretty decent because Frank is, you know, he has all of the resources around him. He knows what he needs to be doing. So absolutely, if you are looking to cake yourself in mud, camo yourself, make a impromptu ghillie suit, you absolutely can. He's, you know, cutting off branches, strapping them to. He's using, like, you know, the fibers of the plant to basically. Frank all of a sudden just like disappears until he turns around and you see just those like bloodshot eyes.
He's
staring
very.
at you.
I think even taking first watch, he is sitting up against a tree, but he has covered himself with like, and it's not even like nice foliage, like a couple of branches. Like he's like, no, I don't want to be smelled. I don't want to be noticed. So he looks like a pile of like rotting underbrush at the moment. But you
Why
can
is that
see
tree
there
looking so
is a
mean?
face in there.
I
Fantastic.
feel like I'm getting judged by this tree in the corner.
The tree's so mad.
Oh, you know what he is? What's the
Does
the
anyone else feel like the trees are watching them?
Does anybody remember Fraggle Rock? The fucking
Yes.
the trash heap in the backyard that they seek guidance from? That.
Okay.
Amazing.
For everyone else, what is the plan for rest, or who I guess also who is taking over after Frank on the watch?
Felicia will go after Frank.
Okay.
I will go after Felicia, but before I go, what are you doing for sleep? I don't want to talk over you, Black Cat.
Oh, yeah, I'm... no. Black Cat wouldn't really know what to do. She's a city girl. She'd probably try to, like, build one of those, like, shelters with leaves and stuff. I don't know. She's not... Yeah, she'd attempt to, like, build a shelter with, like, branches and leaves and stuff, I guess.
A lean-to?
She would-
Yeah.
A lean-to, yeah.
Okay. So because Felicia is a city girl, you know, absolute central Manhattan, the closest she's been to any kind of greenery is Central
Nature.
Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine there's too many like jungle lean-tos in Central Park. So let's call this a logic roll.
She saw it on TV once or something.
Sure, absolutely.
This is gonna go real great. Oh, come on. I rolled a 15. I actually rolled really good, but then I have like a -1. I don't know. Or no, it's a +1. Never
It's a
mind.
+1 for
I
logic,
rolled
yeah.
a 15. I was like, I thought I read it incorrectly. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I don't think any of you actually have negative modifiers, which is pretty nice, all things told.
she does have a college degree. Like, Felicia's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if she is going to use some geometry for this, I think that would probably be helpful. But as she's looking for some plants, I think there's maybe a little difficulty where she's not sure if something is poisonous or not. But she puts her logic to use with a 16. That's pretty good. And she is going to be able to make a pretty half decent lean-to. You know, she is on the ground in the dirt, not a great place for somebody with white fur as part of their costume, but nevertheless she has created a shelter that if it does rain, it's going to keep most of the water off of her, and will keep her pretty decently hidden for the evening. What about everybody else?
Kind of like
Can't hear you.
cleaned up. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
the tree that Frank is leaning up against, they had mentioned that they wanted to try to be like up in the branches. Their idea mostly taking any hanging bits and like looping close branches together to actually give her some type of base so she can lay on top of it. She's been through not this level of jungle danger, but they are an assassin. They've been in certain situations and have had to make do waiting in really gross places to get the jobs they choose to get done. So I'm guessing they would have like basic level knowledge of survivalist skills.
I think Typhoid Mary's been to the sewers enough to know how to keep her boots clean. It's dawning on me that we do have a bunch of city kids, except for Frank, who's like been to Nam. So
I'm looking up Typhoid Mary.
Mark's been in the military.
That's true. Actually, that's very true. Mark did serve in Egypt and I think the Middle East and was absolutely part of the military. So that is valid. Still is wearing an all-white suit.
Yes.
But...
No. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yes.
The all-white suit is the problem.
Yeah, his whole quote of like, if people try to shoot me, they'll be so scared they won't be able to hit. Well, these are velociraptors. They don't have guns, but...
The only problem with a white costume is the bloodstains. Am I right?
So hardcore. Okay. Buns, go ahead and roll me a let's see, since you're kind of using your backstory a little bit too, let's also call this a logic roll. Actually, you know, it's because you're up in the trees, we could also call this an agility roll if you want to make it that. Can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm mumbling while I look at my character sheet so I can remember how the
fine.
rolls work. Agility score is 5. So whatever I roll.
So you have a plus 5
right?
to your non-combat checks. Yeah.
Okay. And then normal roll, click. Got a 6-3 in a row. 10 plus 5 is 15.
15, great. Yeah, you are pretty nimble in getting up the trees, able to make find one of the wider branches. The trees here are pretty large. I mean, they've been standing for quite some time, and you're able to find a branch that's high enough above Frank, at least taller than what you saw that razor-clawed dinosaur being able to reach, even though that one didn't seem to have interest in you. It's the biggest dinosaur we've seen so far. So just out of reach of that one, wide enough to let you lay down on it.
And it's like the way they set up to get their sleep, because it's like they sit there, they lean up against the tree, and then they stab 2 of their knives on either side of their legs to kind of like give them something to, if they were to go one way or another, they'll kind of bump into it so they can straighten themselves out. And like that's how, so they go like this and they sleep until somebody essentially like bangs on the tree, and that's how they know it's their turn to get up and drop down.
Fantastic. All right. Khonshu is watching. What would you like to do?
Well, I do my best work at night, and
That's true.
Moon Knight will just grapple up into a different tree, like when they were traveling, and will Moon Knight sleep? Who knows? I feel like Mark goes days without sleep frequently.
The other personalities are sleeping, so you
counts.
can just trade out. Yeah, it counts. Okay. Well, then, with Frank taking the first watch, TV, go ahead and give me another vigilance roll, and we'll count this for what you are keeping an eye out for as the sun begins to set lower.
Ooh. I got a 5, a 6, and a 6, so I got a 20.
Very nice. That's really good. Okay. As the sun sets beyond the horizon and those long shadows, that denseness of the forest almost becomes like fully encapsulatingly dark. It's a darkness that a lot of you being Manhattan-based haven't seen in a very long time. You know, the New York is never really dark. There's always lights somewhere, and this is just like, it's blindingly dark. You can still hear insects moving all around. Frank, you can hear the movements of animals small and animals large. Nothing particularly close to you. And, you know, as you are masking your own scent, you know, widening your nose to try to pick your nose, try to pick up on every type of sense that you can in this area. Nothing seems like it's getting overly close. At least not, you know, not for the time that you spend. I'm going to say that you all are going to have 8 hours in total to sleep. So you will all. How's that going to break up? So 8 divided by 4. So each of you are going to be doing 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So you'll get 6 hours of rest if you want to calculate that, barring anything else happening. But Frank, everything seems to move through the night pretty much without incident for your first stint. Nothing seems to get close to the pit. Nothing seems to get move through the trees or get close to any of your companions, as far as you can tell.
Okay. When my watch is over, I will get up and wake up Black Cat so she could take her turn.
Okay.
And say it's been pretty quiet. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for the moment.
Okay.
So let's have Felicia do a vigilance roll as well.
I would like to position myself up high to have a better vantage point
Yeah, for sure.
while I'm looking. How many of the edges did we have left over from last week? I don't remember. If we got it.
If you didn't spend one, you should have 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2.
So, okay. Nice. I rolled a 17.
Great. Okay. Just trying to see if anything was attached to Black Cat, because I know like sometimes she is depicted having night vision goggles, but I don't see that as part of her loadout.
Yeah, I don't. She didn't have any like equipment with her, but she does have like, what is it, tech reliance? So I assume there's got to be something that makes her
Technology for powers.
tech go.
That's if they would take damage that would render them unconscious. They can instead choose to lose all of their technology-related powers and remain conscious with 1 point of health. So I'll say that 17 is still really good. Should this come up again, we can maybe add an edge to that, but 17 is still going to be successful enough that
Okay.
as you are also up high, having your Black Cat's eye view on everything, you kind of lose track of Frank after a little while, but assume that he's okay. Nevertheless, if you look through the trees, you could probably spot the little glint of white in this otherwise complete, void that might be the glint of moon night. If there is a moon in the sky, it is not cutting through the foliage down to where you are, so it is low to no light. But listening out, again, you can hear animals moving around. Far off, you can hear that same whistle noise that you heard before with the raptors. It's this very high pitched, almost like dog sound whistle, but it is far off. And after that, you don't really hear anything getting necessarily closer to you. Yeah, it's pretty uneventful. Aside from that, you pick up on that whistle. I think that's the only really big thing that you note in your 2 hours.
I will wake up Mary and relay this information. And I'll tell her everything seems quiet, but there's something way off in the distance. Whistling sound.
And I definitely would have remembered the whistling sound from the fight with the raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Let us know if it comes closer, but it seems pretty far away for now.
Okay. So when I go to leave, I just like go take my watch. I make sure that I have my knives with me. I would like to go on patrol.
Okay.
Instead of just staying in one spot, kind of make sure that nothing is, especially after hearing that there were whistles in the far off distance, kind of like making sure we're not being surrounded in our sleep.
Absolutely. Because you are moving about, go ahead and give me a vigilance with edge.
roll. I rolled an 11 plus 12, 14.
14, and that's with the edge included.
Yes, at least on the button I did edge. Is that a different thing? Do I hit the green one?
Yeah. So the way the edge works is you make your initial roll, and then so are you using the D616 role playing digital roller?
And I put it on the green one, which was an edge reroll. And then
Cool.
gave me...
Go ahead and do a normal roll, or a normal re-roll, and then roll that, and then click to edge after that, and it should change one of the dice.
Okay.
It might not, but essentially all edge does is it changes whatever one of your lowest die are. You can change either your Marvel die to try to get a fantastic success, or you can change something else just to try to get a higher roll.
Gotcha. So did you want me to do those rolls?
It's up to you. If you are happy with that roll, it's a pretty decent roll. But if you would like to try for higher than that, you are welcome to.
Why not? So then click, and then I do the edge reroll, click. That gave me 366, which is 15 plus, I think it was plus 3 for vigilance. So 18.
18. Great.
Alright.
Okay. Roaming around. Weapons drawn. Great. Again, pretty dark. Dark like you haven't experienced in a long time. But you move around. You have a mental note of where the punchy pit is, and know not to go near it. It's hard to navigate, is what I'll say. But with your roll still being pretty high, you don't hear the whistle. You do hear some animal noises. At one point, you hear really heavy breathing, and
Just
I will
Moon
say
Knight.
it. Yeah, it's Moon Knight above. Going, this mask.
Can't
is so
you
hot.
let me rest?
No.
No, it seems to be coming from a little bit further off in the trees, and it's definitely like very. It sounds like a large animal doing a deep breathe. It's up to you if you would like to get closer.
You saying it's them? You saying it's them doing a deep breathe? I feel like I'm gonna. I would like to note where it is, but I'm not gonna do too much of an investigation because I don't want to wake it up. Deep breathing makes me feel like they're asleep right now, and I do not want to poke the metaphysical, possibly literal bear.
Yeah, if anything, it does sound a lot like a very large snore.
Yeah, no, homie. I'm gonna just be like, so we got whistles and big bitches breathing in trees. All right, okay.
Yeah, this is on the ground. It's not anything that's above you. So this is something that is further off in the darkness of the trees. But
Yep. Gonna note where it is away from our camp, so when I wake up Moon Knight for their watch, then I can tell them where I heard it. So like about 3 clicks west, there's something, but it's asleep, and let's make sure it stay over there.
yeah, how far away would you go from camp? I guess that's a good question as well.
I call myself doing like a patrol. I want to do kind of like a 10-yard radius. Just kind of do a deep.
Just about 30 feet. Sure.
Yeah.
So I would say that with the high enough roll, this thing is probably upwards of like 60 feet out from your camp, and doesn't seem like it's getting any closer.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, you don't pick up on anything else of note during your watch.
Yep. Gonna mark one of the trees so that they know where I was and how far I went out, in case anybody wants to do the same later. And then I'm gonna make my way back to camp. Be like,
Okay.
Moon.
Find anything?
Something's asleep. There was whistling earlier, like a raptor whistle, but those looked way far out. And I don't know. After that, I stopped paying attention, and the one who was paying attention is definitely asleep right now. So I'm going to join them. Make sure, and I'm pointing in a direction. I'm gonna tell them that I marked the trees. Like make sure that they are still there, and you should be waking us all up in a few hours.
Don't worry, Conchu's always watching.
That's creepy as fuck, man.
appropriate response.
Like they didn't even think about it. It sounds like they were like they said that in their mind and they did not. They said it out loud.
Who knows?
It's fucked
Oh
up.
shit!
Anyway,
I said that out loud.
See?
crazy.
Saying the quiet part out loud, Mary. Love you.
Okay. Well, Cass, if you would like to do a vigilance roll for Moon Knight.
Luckily, I think that's pretty decent. With my +2, that's a 15.
15. Okay. What are you doing? Are you moving about like Mary did, staying in one place? What does your watch look like?
I think even though Moon Knight is used to acting mostly at night, like you said, there's usually more light in New York than we're getting right now. So I think Moon Knight's more concerned of like just staying perched in the tree and keeping an eye, like listening to the surroundings, but mostly keeping an eye on the camp area.
Cool. Okay. Great. With that, and with your 15, you're still up in the trees, right? Great. Your companions seem fine. Frank, again, hard to detect, but you just look for that like slight glint of the Punisher logo that he just like didn't cover up all the way. Man, it'd be really funny if Frank snored, but I don't want to put that on him.
I mean, it's possible there's a little bit of something going on. He's had his nose broken a lot.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
sleep
he's
apnea
got-
in the making.
Somehow he has 3 deviated septums.
It's
wild.
rough.
Yeah.
Ain't no CPAP machine in the jungle, y'all.
Mm-mm.
Mary's back to her knife sleeping. Felicia's back to her lean-to. They all seem to be absolutely unmessed with. There are insects about. If anything, like, you are the closest thing to a light. So I have to imagine there's like giant moths and things that are just kind of flying around. But it's pretty quiet until you start to hear, you don't hear the snoring or anything like that. That's a little too far off for you. But you do hear some shuffling, some animal noises that are closer to the Punji Pit. At least in that direction.
Okay. I think knowing that Frank would have made sure the people on the ground were far enough away, for now I would just focus and pay attention towards the Punji Pit without alerting anyone else.
Okay. To see what is happening over there, you would have to get closer to it, because it is a little distance off from your camp. Not too far, but you'd have to shift a couple of trees closer.
Part of me is like, nah, we're good, but part of me is also, yeah, let's go push the red button, and that's always more exciting. So sure, Moon Knight will go investigate the sound.
Okay. You get a little bit closer, and what you see is it's tough at first, because the little bit of light that's cutting through in this darkness almost, like, this thing almost perfectly camouflages as you realize that there are stripes on its back. And as you're kind of looking a little bit closer and trying to figure out where the form of this thing begins and ends, you see a large theropod dinosaur, bipedal dinosaur, that has reached into the Punji Pit. And as you clock the glint off of the metal sidearm in his boot, you can see what is left of Agent Sherman going into this thing.
I think... I'm a white beacon, but also, if I move, that might make noise. So I think, since there was nothing to be done about Sherman anyway, and honestly, Moon Knight didn't care, and Frank already grabbed, like, ID to, give back to S.H.I.E.L.D., to give back to any relatives, I think Moon Knight will just be quiet and wait for it to move on if it does.
And given some time, being high enough in the trees that it's not like a line of sight for this thing does move on. You can feel this soft thrum of the footsteps. Not as heavy as you think they would be. The whole T-Rex making the water kind of shake. It's not like that. This thing almost seems to move like a massive cat, just silently through the brush, and as it does, you don't even really hear branches breaking that much. And again, very tough to tell beginning and end of this large dinosaur, which slightly feathered, coloration hard to tell. Its tail kind of just makes a soft little whipping crack as it moves on, having found a sufficient meal. And that's really all that you get out of your watch. And as the sun begins to very softly rise on your second, well, I guess your first official morning in the Savage Lands, your second technical day, your watch ends.
No, that's more. Yeah. I think I will just go back to the camp then and drop down into kind of the middle between where everybody was stationed.
Okay. So, with Moon Knight's watch over, all of you waking up with your 6 hours of rest and recovery, what does the next day look like for you?
I mean, I guess we keep walking. We don't have much in the way of like a meal, I don't think.
Now that we decided we're not eating the dinosaurs,
Well, they're pasted in the corner, so
that's fair. Hey, I thought military dudes dug gruel.
I'm fine.
This is a group effort, Castle.
Okay.
It's group effort.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Very well. Whenever you're ready to move out, we move out. He's just checking the map and just look.
They get all their knives and everything that they had out the night before, kind of like keeping them in place in this fucking tree. They put everything on. They are really just kind of going to follow you. They're just being smart for smart's sake. They're not going to try to take the map and take the lead or anything.
I think Frank's used to having superheroes, and other superheroes kind of give him shit for being so he's sort of like, fuck, everybody's like, oh, I'm a leader now. All right, God, okay. Let me see if I can remember how to do that. He's happy to just keep blazing a trail through the forest to heading in the direction towards where he knows they gotta go.
Okay. So with that in mind, there are a couple of different options that you can do. You can kind of skirt around the edge of this Mystic Mists area where you seem to be located, or you can even get closer to the water itself, get closer to what is kind of demarcated as Skull Island, or you can just cut directly through the Mystic Mists.
What do we know about the Mystic Mists?
That's a good question. Go ahead and give me a logic roll for what you might remember.
Logic. There we are. No, I said logic. You're not gonna roll that? Enter damage reduction. What? Why is it? Oh God, sorry, I was clicking the wrong thing. I was like, what do you mean damage reduction? I don't know what that means. I'm not doing damage. A total of 16.
Okay. And I'm very sorry if I describe the dinosaurs as having feathers. It's actually stated in official Marvel lore that the dinosaurs don't have feathers because of continued evolution. So, take that, science.
Okay.
Whatever.
Sure.
It's because
Just already
Sauron came to the Savage Land and was like, no, when I was in college, dinosaurs looked like this, and god damn it, they're gonna keep looking like this.
Basically, yeah. So, what you would know about the Mystic Mists is that they are one of the many jungle areas of the Savage Lands. Savage Lands aren't all jungle. It's kind of a misconception. There's a lot of savanna, there's a lot of grasslands, there's actually a lot of mountains as well, and waterways. The Mystic Mists are a hunting ground for a number of peoples. You have the Fall peoples, you have the primordial, not great name, man apes, which are kind of just like, they're like Neanderthal or even like proto-Neanderthal sort of peoples who are cavemen. They help with spears. They have fire, but it's really new and interesting to them, and haven't really advanced a lot. The Fall peoples are slightly more advanced and are known to tame and even hunt dinosaurs. Dinosaurs in the Mystic Mists are kind of, it's not their primary area. The Great Rift is really where you see a ton of the larger dinosaurs, sauropods and theropods. But yeah, the Mystic Mists are still a well-populated, dense jungle area. Lots of varied flora and fauna, and some that are very unique and specific only to this part of the world. But I would say hunting ground is probably the biggest thing that stands out to Frank.
Hunting ground for dinosaurs specifically?
Dinosaurs, people. It's a bloody area.
Okay. Oh man. I think I'm gonna try and keep us a little bit close to the water the way we have been. Where like it's, like I want to keep it within a sort of vicinity as a sort of marker and a sort of I know like if I have the map open in relation to the river versus where we're going, I feel like the river is a good way to keep us from getting lost, just in case. Sure. But other than that,
I've got you on the map 1 square lower from where you were, 1 square further south. Would you like to be even closer to the river than that? Even further west?
Are we that blue circle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So I didn't know what I was like. What's that for? Yeah, I think where we are is fine, and I think we could just cut through the Mystic Mists. I don't think it's going to be any less dangerous anywhere else. But as long as I have the river as a sort of loose guide to know where we are in relation to other things, sure. That's mostly what I'm concerned about.
Okay. Well, and much to their name, as you all wake up and the evaporation of the early morning begins to occur, the jungle, this part of the jungle, lives up to its name pretty intensely. The mist around you is incredibly thick. There's that kind of like that wet smell to everything, that very dense, watery smell, where it's hard to breathe certain times with just all the moisture that you're breathing in.
Living in Maryland.
But yeah, the Savage Lands await. So as you continue south, anything you all would be looking to do besides cutting through? Are any of you on the watch for anything? Anything you'd like to be prepping or otherwise in action of?
I'm gonna ask, can I play with the cube?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and give me a logic roll.
$17. 14 plus 3.
Great. So you've got the one side, which has your map of the Savage Lands laid out in kind of, 2-dimensional but 3-dimensional space. This kind of greenish blue holograph of the Savage Lands itself. and you can even use your fingers to scroll in. The holograph seems to be interactable. As you switch to another side, you can see your mission brief, which has two check boxes on it. Your mission is to infiltrate, examine the United Nations Shield outpost, the monitor station, and then it has checkbox for recovered personnel, number of recovered personnel, which is like a line that you can fill in, and then recovered intelligence, and then it has subsections for the recovered intelligence. Zip drives, computer processor, like it has several things that you're supposed to be getting once you get to the monitor station. And then it has something at the very bottom that says number of team members lost. And that's also a form fillable kind of thing. It's currently set with just a line. As you switch to another side of it, you have a map of the monitor station itself, and it seems to be like a blueprint layout. So you can see that there is the main entrance, there's an armory, there's staff lounge, there's sleeping quarters, there's the research center that seems to be a major portion of it, and is also blocked out with classified broadly across it. And as you switch to another side of it, the cube emits a light against your face, and it goes to put up an image, but that image just shuts down, and you get classified in big 3D spinning letters, like a Windows 95 screensaver. It's just spinning around with classified.
Incredible. We don't have any hackers here, do we?
Hold on, give me a second. I'm checking something. I have Typhoid Mary's like wiki up, so I could be accurate. So give me like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they always pair Frank up with a hacker, because he's not.
Computers.
Am I right? Computer. How do I get inside the cube?
I did.
Okay, there's a specific scene with Clancy Brown from Starship Troopers where he's like, Jake Busey of all people is like, why do we need to learn to use knives? You can just press a button and send a nuke. And he throws a knife and it goes through his hand. And he's like, if you can't press the button. So that's what Frank reminds me of. Everybody's like, you can use a computer. He's like, if I stab you through the hand, you can't use computers.
It's very true.
Frank, it's very true.
He's just he's not built that way. Can I keep an eye out for any like, obviously I'm being Mr. Hypervigilance, but can I also keep an eye out for any like recognizable fruit or edible things?
I like that. Yeah, let's call that a vigilance roll.
Oh, that was not the best. I'm gonna use one of my karma that I didn't use last week and reroll that. Even worse. So, I'll go. Does it do? I can pick which one I use. It's like advantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With edge, absolutely.
So total of 10.
Okay. 10 is like flat average. Same with like D&D. 10's pretty average. I would say keeping an eye out. There are fruits around. There's some you definitely have never seen before, in some colors that you were not aware that fruit came in. But you can also spot some more tropical selections, some things that you're pretty sure are close enough to citrus, maybe with some mutations added to them, or not the human kind of mutations that have been added to them. So some like proto bananas, the ones with all the seeds inside of them. You find some things that look pretty close to pineapple, and then oranges that are not exactly orange. You might call them like yellows, maybe
more like a
reds,
a pomelo or something like
that. Yeah.
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 As long as I'm suitably sure they're not gonna kill me.
I will say that some of them look like they have been like not the ones necessarily that you would pick, but some of them look like they have been eaten by other animals, and you don't see any dead animals around.
Okay, I'll grab a couple as we're going and toss them around to the group, just as like, if you feel safe enough to eat it, go for it.
Keeps the scurvy away.
Yep.
Definitely gonna eat it. I'm looking over the thing. They unfortunately are not a hacker when I was looking up their stuff, but they do they do have slight. It doesn't work that way. They're not a technopath. I'm like, mind control the cube. We unfortunately did find out. All of us, we all know that the body has now been disposed of, right?
The body is gone. Yeah.
The body is gone, but I don't know that I said anything. No one asked.
That's what I was wondering. Did you do like a this is what I found on my
I like an hour into trekking up further in, Mark's probably like, oh yeah, Sherman got eaten.
I have the perfect reason why, because it's when it does the classified thing. They're like, wait, stop. We need dead guy face.
He got eaten.
What do you mean he got eaten? What ate him?
So a big dinosaur came in the middle of the night and ate his whole body.
We can't look at the things we need because we need their face. I'm really good at disguises, but I don't know if I have everything to be that good at disguises right now. But like, what do we have? Stretch your face, Frank. You gotta get rid of the wrinkle. Maybe if you do it like this, it'll like look the same.
I'm ignoring that. I did grab his ID tag and like I grabbed his like his stuff. So I don't know if any of
if
that
his ID
might
has
use
a picture. Hold on. They like go like this so the cube can't see them.
Just holding it up like
It scans the card. Face ID not recognized.
He doesn't have
That's
clearance.
a good
He was
thought,
a bottom
though.
bitch. No.
I think it was looking for a three-dimensional image, not a slight sheen of a ID badge.
Can I carve his face likeness into this fruit?
Wow, that's a really great question, Buns. Thank you so much for asking that. That's a first. Honestly, that is a first question for me as the GM. I hate to answer with no.
It's okay.
I'm going to, but I want you to know it's under duress that I answer with no.
I'm glad I could make this core memory for you.
Thank you so much. I'll never forget this. Absolutely.
incredible.
They're very sad. But they're like, oh yeah, no, this thing is. It's not. You're not useless, little guy. Don't worry. They're like talk to it like it's a pet rock. Like, don't worry, little guy. You're not useless. But there's a map, forms, paperwork. There's a whole lot of words. Too bad I ain't reading them. And then the ID scanner. There's a blueprint here, so when we get there, I'll know what I'm doing. But I'm like shaking it.
Well,
they're like, it's
It's not a magic 8-ball.
It could be at this point. Do you see this thing? I'm surprised it's not a Rubik's Cube. They attempt to twist it. Nothing?
Not twist.
Yeah, it's not a Rubik's.
It'd be really cool if it was a
check.
fidget. Yeah, the other two sides just spin. It's
Oh.
just a little shield fidget tool. Really
it's
embrace the
dual
neurodivergence of
purpose.
their staff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dual purpose and child locked.
Maybe some of the scientists at the research facility will be able to open it up for you if you're really that curious.
I feel like we should all be that curious. This is important enough that they put us in the same room together.
I agree, but unless you want to do something with the leaves, we're gonna have to,
I mean, I don't want to bring anyone down, but I think they picked us because we're not the Avengers. They were unavailable, probably.
Probably. Yeah, unavailable. Sitting at home not doing anything is what is called being unavailable. I don't know their lives. I just like to think they're lazy when they're not being pompous. Yeah. They're like a child was like when they say, "Do you have games on your phone?" and you really don't. You weren't lying. Be like, "Give back the cube." They're like, "I can't do anything with it." They do take note of the map. I will say that there was a moment when they were like in this trance, like staring at the map, kind of situation. Then they were like, "Okay, yeah, I can remember that. Here you go."
Thank you. You'll take it back. Just keep on going.
You're the map guy. I don't trust anyone else on the map.
Yeah, Frank's got this high-tech cube and a compass that he pulled out of his pocket the other day. Just
If that's what made you the leader, you were prepared. You had a compass.
I have been doing this since before at least 2 of you were born.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, Mark.
I don't either.
Mark. The map doesn't necessarily say anything. I think we did decide we were going to go towards water so that we could at least keep it close as a source when we got thirsty as we trek through.
Mhm.
But does that mean we're actually going towards Skull Island? I think that's a question for the group of us.
We're going south,
Okay.
so technically we're going to be going further away from it as we
Yeah.
go.
So towards the, and excuse me for saying it this way, line of pretty flags that is on the map. When we say
I
south,
think those
like
are people.
orangey. Are those, there's people in the blue over there? Are those also people?
I think those
by
are
the
also
waterfall?
people.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they were like cultural flags. I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, you're fine. They do kind of look like that. I think they are more like, what's the combination of like green and yellow?
The banners.
The stuff
Well, they're
next to
wearing
Magneto
orange.
Citadel?
Yeah, those. I think
Oh
those are
yeah,
like,
I think they're yellow people in red and like orange jumpsuits.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think they're a different type of the fall people. There's
They're
like
all
several different
they're
tribes.
they're all Thundercats.
Yes, they're all Chitaras. It's a whole tribe of Chitaras.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
One Snarf though. It's,
One
it's like
Snarf.
it's a reverse
every
Smurf situation.
every group of Chitaras has to have a snarf.
At
It just
least
is
That's right.
it's the way things work.
It's for balance. It's for
like
balance.
it's like opposite Smurfs. It's like there has
Yeah,
to be at
it's a
least one
reverse Smurf.
Smurf.
A reverse Smurf is all Chitaras and one Snarf.
I unironically say snarf when I stub my toe because I don't like to cuss around my nieces because they're kids.
Yeah.
And I will unironically like snarf.
That's a good replacement word. Yeah,
It's all encompassing. It's very
great.
interchangeable. But I was asking because if I think at the most a few hours we might make it to the edge of the jungle. We're not necessarily going to be like in the open, are we?
Not immediately, I don't
I wouldn't
think.
think
Like,
so.
because if we're where the blue circle is, that we've at least got another square of jungle to trek through before we get into what looks like at least more open area.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll reach the next square south, and either you will reach another square by nighttime.
Got you.
Because it's about 4 days total of travel.
Other than collecting the fruits, yeah. Do we die from that? Because I did eat that.
You do not die from the fruits. Frank had a high enough roll that
Okay.
you did not die from eating those fruits.
There are no adverse reactions. Okay, well then.
I wish I'd rolled higher because there could be some like cooler fruits we could be eating that maybe have like weird properties, but I rolled enough for oranges.
I would like dark sight fruit, please. Fruit that just crisp up my vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else you all would like to do while traveling? I will say, as far as things have gone, pretty uneventful. You have found some fruit. You have not really seen a lot of any other animals. You hear, like, as you move through the jungle, every now and then you will hear something moving through the brush, like running away from you, seemingly, but nothing has gotten closer to you.
Every now and then a part of Typhoid Mary pushes out some of her telepathy to see if she can catch someone's thoughts off guard. But if she doesn't come across anything, she's not going to say anything.
I think that's pretty cool.
To be
No,
real
no.
with you.
100%. You Typhoid Mary starts using telepathy, and you just hear, "Get out of my head, Mary."
Stop. Why is your range so fucking big?
You just hear really grim organ music from Frank. It's just like
Why are you humming the Phantom of the Opera? Full show.
I'm not humming. That's just what my brain's like.
You don't even need to join community theater or therapy, but pick one.
Aside from your companions, every now and then, as something does run through the brush, you do pick up, like, it's not really thoughts, because you can tell it's coming from animals, and
Okay.
it is just like that base primal thought of like, run away, just flee, danger. Yeah.
Stop, because they all sound like Chris Rock. Get out of here!
Do we
really good.
hear any more of the dinosaur whistle noises?
Not at this point. You have not heard it since the night prior.
Okay. I'm just worried about dinosaur problems.
Okay. 99 problems, but bipedal reptiles are not one.
Actually,
Not
most of
yet.
them right now, but
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the 99 problems are dinosaurs of some kind. Now if only we could find dinosaur solutions. That's it. That's all I really wanted to know. I was like, do we hear signs of dinosaurs?
Yeah, nothing large at least, and you don't hear the whistle. Your second day is a lot of walking. It's a lot of moving through the jungle. It's a lot of nothing necessarily getting closer to you, and a lot of just, walking through that mist. I mean, thick enough to cut with a knife, and Frank is trying. But nevertheless, the day passes. Your feet sore. But you've continued on pretty decently. The sun is beginning to set again, and you find yourselves being faced with having to make camp or continue on. You have at this point moved to this 1 square south. So you do know that if you pushed on a little bit more, probably through the night, you would probably find yourselves out of the Mystic Mists.
Do we want to be closer to the tree line for tomorrow?
Yeah.
I would
I
prefer
mean-
that.
Yeah, me too.
So as the sun drops lower and lower, you all press on in the darkness. And if I can get a vigilance roll from everyone at this point.
Do any of us have a flashlight? We think about that?
I mean,
No, but I rolled a 19.
Sure, it's fine.
19.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Nice. We're in order.
What was yours, Buns? Sorry, one more time.
13.
13. Thank you so much. Sorry for making you repeat yourself. Okay, so I think Typhoid Mary is probably the one that doesn't catch this, or at least is the one that catches this last. You are moving through the jungle is getting more and more open at this point. The denseness of everything is kind of breaking up as you do find yourself finding more of these pockets where the trees have broken, these clearings, and you can kind of get more feelings of breeze every now and then. This kind of fresh air, that dense decaying smell of undergrowth seems to be fading more and more as you press on. Dark though it may be, you can even see bits of moonlight breaking through. Khonshu is watching, and you almost all spot this with Typhoid Mary again, probably being the one that's like looking up or looking down, or something chaotic is caught her attention. Yeah, just literally sleepwalking. You spot through the jungle as the trees are breaking, as the brush is breaking as well. You spot torchlight. There's light coming from either the break in the trees entirely, the end of this jungle area, the end of this forest area. You can see that there are also artificial lights, almost like spotlights, maybe, that are shining down. And you don't necessarily hear anything aside from, like, you can maybe pick up very, very faintly the crackling of like wood fire, and you can smell smoke at this point. And it is at that point that you hear that whistle sound, and it is coming from that direction, and it is very close.
Hunters, I would imagine. They probably have a trained pack of dinosaurs, which means we screwed up their meal.
Where the heck was they?
Hmm?
Well, then where the heck were they? When we were fighting the dinosaurs, I guess they just expect for them to kill it and then they would come back to get the body.
I don't know. I'm just assuming that it's from the whistling, dinosaurs, the fact that we may have killed some of their pets.
Yeah, this is becoming a don't go near them situation before they smell mean people.
I would think we would probably like to avoid those.
But also, do we go to their camp to get supplies?
Would you like to sneak into their camp and get supplies? Is that what you want to do?
I would like to be told that's not a horrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea. It's not something I want to be necessarily involved with, but
Stealing is kind of my whole jam.
yeah, at least 2 or 3 of us are pretty heavy stealth fighters, aren't we? Not me necessarily, but
You can't.
I don't know what you're talking about. I want them to see me coming.
Please don't do things.
Stealing and stealth is kind of my jam.
So, do you think you could go scouting for us, just to try to feel out the vibe?
I can definitely at least bring back information. I'm not gonna steal anything right away.
That's
scouting
you guys
mission
know.
is a very good idea, I think.
You want one of
Look,
these?
I don't know. I have these, and she shows her claws. Literal cat. Yep.
Those are sick.
Yeah. I assume it's some kind of tech thing, if I read my sheet correctly, where her claws have a tech-related
Yeah.
thing to them.
Yeah, they're like metal
It
claws.
just makes
that she's-
them, yeah. Like Wolverine style, kind of. But
Yeah,
More like
not from the,
cat-like?
more like Catwoman. Not from the knuckles, but like they're the ones that she
Yeah.
can use to like cut a plate of glass with the perfect circle.
So
that
it's-
kind of thing.
They
Yeah.
probably are adamantium, though. It is Marvel.
They might be.
At
yeah.
this point, yeah. They
They're
were
like that, or
diamond
they're
when she first
diamond, or
started,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's vibranium.
Vibranium tipped.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think then, if everyone else is cool with it, Black Cat is gonna go and see what the situation is, how many people are around, that sort of thing in their camp.
Great.
Recon.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's do an agility roll, and then we'll do a vigilance roll. The first one is to see how sneaky you can be. The second one is what you pick up and how close potentially you have to get.
Mark, can we get you up in the trees just in case?
Sure.
Okay, I have an edge on this agility check because sneaky. Okay, cool. Boom. Wait a minute. I'm gonna reroll that. Ha! Yes, nailed it. I rolled a 17 for agility to sneak. What was the other roll?
Vigilance, please.
Let me see if I have anything helpful for that. Not helpful. Okay.
Since Frank asked me to get up in the trees,
Mhm.
could I use the help action for the roll?
Sure. Yeah, we can say that you get kind of a better eye on things and can kind of coach Felicia as she gets closer and closer.
And-
She's being sneaky. This is kind of like, again, how close she has to get to spot things.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, okay. I'm gonna use that edge from last week that we all got.
Yeah, you do have an edge thanks to Moon Knight, so if you'd like to use that.
Oh, okay. Then I'll save the other one.
Yeah.
Boink, please do better. Okay, well, I did do better. I rolled an 11 total.
Okay. So, pretty sneaky. You can see that there are like large plastic and metal containers that have been laid out as you get closer and closer. You can see that this is in fact a campsite. The torches are kind of set up almost like, in a perimeter, and then you can see that there are several large spotlights on tripod stands that extend up about 20 feet and are illuminating this entire area. The campsite itself is a sequence of tents, rather large, like safari tents, not your standard, two-person sleeping kind of tents. These are the kinds that you can stand up in, likely have, even furniture inside of them, although several of them are facing away from you, and the flaps on several of them are closed. At the center, you can see that there are 3 tents kind of laid out in this triangle. At the center is a campfire, more of a bonfire, really, that is burning pretty intensely, and that smoke smell is very thick. As you're getting closer and closer, you can hear that whistle once again, and you would see as the 2 raptors that you saw before go padding by towards the center of the camp. And out of one of the tents, the flaps being pushed open, Felicia, you would see somebody relatively familiar to you, somebody that you would have encountered before, and our Zoom chat absolutely called it. So you see a larger, very bulky man, probably about as big physically as Frank, younger looking, but still like grizzled to a degree, maybe a little more like lithe, slightly more lithe than Frank Castle is. He has a black goatee, black kind of slicked back hair, and is wearing a Leonic sort of tunic with a bunch of fur kind of poking up around it with this sort of like almost hood that he wears behind him. He is carrying a pretty big gun, and around his neck you can see that there is a whistle. And Felicia, you would know that this is none other than Sergei Kravenov, otherwise known as Kraven the Hunter. And that is where we're going to go ahead and take our break. Let's go ahead and take 10 to 15. Please enjoy our ad reel. Please consider donating to Living Arts Detroit and impacting our game. And other than that, please enjoy any of our wonderful discount codes for our affiliates. Take care of yourselves, pet your pets, do the things, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Thunderbolts Savage, the Marvel Multiverse RPG game run here on Sword and Key. It's episode 2 of 4. Our wonderful Thunderbolts, this team of villains and anti-heroes, have made their way through the mystic mists, a dense part of a jungle area of the Savage Lands, and have just discovered the campsite of notorious hunter and Spider-Man villain, Kraven the Hunter. And as Black Cat is sneaking up on Kraven the Hunter now, you can see that he is standing center of his camp. You can see that he has 2 raptors that you can now identify have little collars around them, and the light of the fire that's kind of illuminating everything, these spotlights that are shining down on him as well. Again, 3 tents, lots of shipping containers, and the larger like plastic containers, not like the big shipping containers that you might make a tiny home out of, but a lot of like gear that he seemingly has shipped in. It looks like he's been here for a hot minute, and he is carrying a large gun at his side, large hunting looking rifle with some typically Spider-Man-esque sci-fi upgrades to it. and big knife at his side, otherwise dressed in his really wild hunting gear, which is like, has 2 lion eyes right on the nipples and a big frill to it. But you don't see anybody else around. So nobody seems to have spotted you. The raptors don't seem to be paying attention to you. They seem to be paying attention pretty specifically to Craven, and Craven does not seem to be aware of your presence yet either. So that's where we're at. What would you like to do?
I have no idea. This is the guy that kidnapped Felicia once, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he's a pretty
dick.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
I've maybe killed one of his sons.
Potentially, depending on what timeline we're working at. Yeah,
I can't remember.
It's either the timeline where he killed his sons, or his daughter killed his sons, or there's a lot of familial issues here. Yeah.
where his daughter killed his son. I like that timeline.
I will admit there's a small part of me that just wants to be like out loud as Moon Knight. Holy shit, that's Craven the Hunter!
Ah.
Oh God. I mean, I think so. I get all the information, like what's there in terms of supplies and the layout and stuff. So I will, as agreed upon, relay the information to the group once they're far enough away to not be heard discussing this.
Sure.
And when they stop moving, she insists that they move a little bit further before she finally starts explaining the situation. And she explains, they have a bunch of supplies in the camp, there's a big bonfire, the dinosaurs that ran away earlier clearly went home, and this guy kind of sort of maybe kidnapped me a while ago, and she kind of blurts it, mumbles that part. I really hate this guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that guy in the lion costume fight Spider-Man more than once.
Several times.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not here for Craven.
We are not, but is Craven here for us?
I don't necessarily think he's here for us, but I imagine some of the human-made traps that we've been seeing might be his doing.
It's a vacation home. I mean, saying it out loud, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
He might, well, I mean, the X-Men vacation here, so I'm not entirely surprised he's just vibing here, but if we've set off his traps, then he probably knows someone is around, maybe not us specifically.
This is the Savage Land. There's always something around. Doesn't necessarily have to be us.
Well,
let's try to keep
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna pick a fight, not after what happened last time.
What do you mean? We won.
No, not. I mean, the last time I she just starts mumbling. She says, "Never mind. Don't worry about it."
They are going to, and not in a threatening way, they are going to hand you one of their frag grenades and go, just in case. It makes me feel better.
Okay.
While I think we could take Craven in a fight, I don't think that would benefit our...
No, I'm not. I would rather we just leave, honestly. She looks like a grenade, and
painted to look like a pomegranate.
And she says, "Actually, Mary, this is maybe the nicest thing someone's done for me in a while. Thanks." And she puts that away. We should probably just leave. I don't want to risk it, even though I'm really good at stealing stuff. It's kind of my whole thing.
I would be against taking out the trash while we're here, but
I
we
mean,
may not be in a very good position to do that right now.
I wasn't even suggesting taking out the trash. I was merely suggesting looking out for our team and grabbing his stuff while he's not looking, but
I was
I'm not
suggesting
even
taking out the trash.
Oh.
uh
But if we are leaving, and that is the case, I suggest we should do it very, very quietly.
yeah. That's why I insisted we have this discussion even further away. But I mean, I wouldn't mind sticking it to the guy. I mean, I would be lying if I said there was. I would be lying if I said that I didn't want to clean up the trash. But
If he's not our target and he's not somebody that we're willing to ally ourselves with, then I think we should.
yeah,
Who's to say he has nothing to do with what's been going on with the shield facility either? We may get there and find out it's his fault.
Then we could come back and kick his ass. Let's go see. Let's go find.
well, I mean, we should go.
No,
Find
not,
out
not find
first.
out if he needs to get his ass kicked. Find out if this is his fault. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the new bet. I bet it's Craven's fault.
We
very
don't know
possible.
who else is here. There could be other people whose fault it may be, so might as well just keep moving.
I mean, according to the cube map, Magneto's got a citadel right by the base we're going to, so lots of stuff's going on.
Could also be Magneto, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
definitely gonna need that cube when we leave.
I mean, it's a pretty cool piece of tech.
I don't see why we can't just put it. We could put a pin in Craven for now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And if we gotta come back, we come back.
We followed the trail of dinosaurs, because clearly he's been controlling them with that stupid whistle.
Also, the guy comes to New York like every 6 months to fight Spider-Man again. He's
Yeah,
not
we-
hard to find.
Yeah, but you guys want to go to New York? I mean, I could probably handle that on my own time.
You say to 3 people who live in New York, like.
Wait, do you all actually live in New York?
No, not player wise. I mean character wise. Like all of us
No,
just
I mean,
stationed in New
does
York and
Mary... Oh, are you guys...
I
Oh,
think
literally
everyone here
all-
is from New York.
I
Yeah,
thought Mary...
yeah. Typhoid
I
Bear is a
thought- I
Daredevil
thought
villain.
for sure-
Punishers.
Punishers,
I think
Brooklyn,
we're
and
all
Hell's
space.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Mary and Moon Knight weren't.
like not
Yeah.
origin wise, but station
No, but,
wise,
like,
where
I-
they fight a lot, it's normally somewhere in frickin' New York. It's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
Frank
I
moves,
didn't realize y'all fought there too.
Frank
I think
moves
one
around
of
a little
Moon
bit,
Knight's
but
personalities. Yeah.
Listen, it's less of, well, I guess it could be a Felicia thing. She doesn't know you guys. She didn't know
Yeah,
you
she
guys
don't know
that
us.
well
we
before.
we don't know each other outside of this.
yeah, I don't think
situation.
Frank really has interacted with the. I mean, I started out as a Spider-Man villain, so
That's true. You and Craven have a lot in common. You have both had Spider-Man in your crosshairs.
technically, the funny thing though is, I think technically Frank is a nicer man than Craven. I think.
Yeah. I would say
Frank
that.
thought the one who kidnapped Felicia and fucking
He's
Billy.
not a
what's his
kidnapper.
face.
He'll just kill you if he thinks. Yeah.
Okay. More of a
See,
survive.
Frank's a straight shooter. I respect that about Frank. Now fuck this Craven guy. Let's leave.
I think at least if we're done kind of having this conversation, Frank's gonna
Yeah.
just start creeping. As long as everybody's okay with continuing to move through the
Yep.
night, to just sort of bypass the camp entirely.
Yep.
But I think,
Yeah.
is it possible? Can I use the little cube to can I put a marker down on the map where the camp
Sure.
is?
Sure.
Heck yeah.
You're far enough out that you don't think anybody's going to see as you pull up the map. Put a little marker down as to where the Craven camp is. Cool. Well then, if you were going to try to sneak by the Craven off camp, let's go ahead and do agility rolls for everybody.
That's not the best. Okay.
The only way this could be better if it was a fantastic roll. I got a 26.
Wow.
I rolled
amazing.
18 and then have a high agility.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. I rolled
I
a
rolled a-
16.
I rolled a 19 with edge, like a natural edge. Yeah. Like we John Cena added the scene and just
God, John
disappeared.
7, 8, 9, 10. I got 12. I might have tripped over
Oh
something.
no!
I think I tripped, guys.
So I typically, if you're moving together, I do average it out. So there'll be like the group one. So you do have an average of 18.25. So we'll round down to say that's 18. That's still pretty high.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that one of you is blazingly white, the other one has a massive like white symbol. One of you has a face half painted. Like there's a lot of, again, we've discussed a lot of
Very
black and white
reflective.
going on.
Felicia's
Yeah.
got a white hair.
Yeah, you know,
Bunch.
Felicia's in like a spandex suit. Like it has a glint to it.
No, it's pleather or something.
Oh, great. Okay. So
Totally
much better.
pleather.
That breeds so much better. Okay. You are able to get far enough, like you are able to angle your way out of the jungle far enough away from where like the ambience of the torchlight. The spotlights are all pointed downwards and inwards to illuminate the camp. They're not pointed outwards. But you move out of the perimeter of this torchlight. Who got the lowest? Because it was Typhoid Mary.
It was
Mary,
me
go
with
ahead and
12,
give me a vigilance roll.
I don't wanna, but I'm gonna. Oh wait, no, okay, that might be awesome. Okay, I rolled a 16, and then my vigilance is +3, so 17, 18, 19.
Great. Are you still doing your like little telepathy every now and then to pick up on heading around? Okay. With that and with your 19, I think the reason why you are maybe the least stealthy of the group is something catches your attention and it causes you to like kind of stop a little bit out in the open. It's still dark, there's a little bit of moonlight, you don't think you've been spotted, but it jolts you to where you almost like stand up a little bit as you feel like a little bit of wind from above and you look up to see a silhouetted figure soaring towards the camp. And you pick up on a few thoughts. First of all, you pick up on the raptors, which is just, they're just thinking like food. They're just thinking about eating something. You pick up on Craven, who is planning out just, you know, kind of like surface level thoughts, planning out whatever his next moves are going to be. He's frustrated at something. And then from above, you pick up on like bloodthirsty vengeance. There is the thing that is flying towards that camp aggressively.
Ooh.
And it's at that point you also feel the thundering of footsteps that are coming from a little bit further off. They're not coming from anywhere like around you, in front of you, but like further off to the camp, and you can hear something boom, 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 and just like crescendoing, getting like that the tempo increasing as something is picking up speed and running towards that camp.
Oh, there's just like a lot headed in the
Picking
direction
up
that we just
speed.
left. So we're all like sneaking away, and there is a moment where Mary goes to it kind of like, oh gosh, there's so much shit happening, y'all, and I feel like it's definitely taken with a grain of salt, seeing how they've been responding not only to themselves but to a lot of other shit. But they're like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and then they kind of go quiet, and their stance is very reminiscent of Frank's, of somebody who is like trying to get into a mode, trying to get like into like a focus, and they're like, whatever is heading towards Craven is probably going to make our plans of going back for him irrelevant. But there is a very angry thing, and they just simply point up, and then they're like, and also something running faster than me when I hear there are Swedish meatballs at an event. We should really get out of here. Either that or go watch the fun. I couldn't either. But none of this is said with their mouth. All those faces, all in their heads.
Can I? Frank's not exactly as agile as some of the other ones, but could I get up in a tree to try and get a glimpse of what might be happening behind us?
Yeah, so absolutely. You've moved like more into grassland, so you could backtrack a little bit, get up into a tree. Go ahead and give me a vigilance roll with edge then.
17 with edge.
Okay. Frank and Mary, especially like telepathic wise, you can see that there is something that is humanoid with wings that seems to be kind of like circling the camp. And then further off in the glint of moonlight, you spot something big, like Hulk-sized big, that is just like seems to be running towards that camp. And it's a strange shape. Whatever this thing is has a tail. And at that point, you hear this very loud, high-pitched screech. And you watch that figure that's in the sky dive down as it screams out, "Craven, you fucking bastard!" And it swoops down at him, and as it hits like the spotlights, it casts all this green light as you see the pterosaur-like shape of Sauron, the dinosaur man. Pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs, but still. As he goes to dig his claws into Craven, who dodges out of the way. That dodge being pretty helpful, as at that moment, a large other dinosaur man that Frank might remember as Stegron, the dinosaur man.
I do remember Stegron!
Stegron, great character, slams through one of the tents and sends just all of those containers just flying off in all directions and tries to just charge. He is a Stegosaurus man. He has plates all along his back and a tail that is whipping around with these spikes on the back of it as he has launched himself into this camp and splits through the bonfire with these flaming logs going everywhere. With the shrapnel that is all going around, I'm going to need agility checks from everybody.
Can I do this with edge sneakily, or is this considered not a stealthy thing?
This is dodging out of the way. Yeah, you were stealthy already. This is not an intended attack. It's just you were in the way of a lot of things that are flying towards you right now.
I'm in a tree.
You are. So you are out enough. You are out of the way enough that that Punisher is good for this one.
Okay. I rolled a 12. I just,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good thing you were in that tree.
Just like, is it okay if
My
I'm
friend. Oh man.
I have one edge left. I'm trying to save it for if we're actually in combat.
You're out of this one for sure. Yeah.
That is fair.
I got a 17.
Twinsies.
Okay.
Did you get Black Cat?
18. Sorry, I was like, I thought I said it already.
Can Typhoid Mary like see what I'm seeing?
I was gonna ask. I was like, if you couldn't get up the tree, I was gonna say I'll climb the tree and see if I can link us. There's some. I will roll to link.
If not
if the
see
DM
through me, you
allows.
probably are hearing my thoughts as this shit happens. Where I'm like, oh fuck, that's Sauron. Oh fuck, that's Stegron. Oh, this camp is fucked.
Is there nothing here that's name doesn't end in an Auron?
You all are able to dodge out of the way as Moon Knight, a like large metal container, like a tin can, just collapses and compresses in on itself just mere feet from you. Black Cat, you dodge out of the way as essentially a log, that like a portion of a tree that is completely on fire slams into the ground and plants like a fence post. Frank, you're out of the way. Mary, there are MREs just raining from the sky right now. You've been granted the blessing of
blessed a bounty.
I am. I'm seriously sitting here like mana from heaven. Like they're actively going, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
You've dodged out of the way of all of the attacks, but you can see that Craven is now firing at these two as his camp is getting wrecked. The dinosaurs as well are kind of split a little bit with their allegiance, as you can see Stegron pointing at them, and then Craven is blowing on his whistle, and it's kind of this like back and forth sort of thing that they're doing.
I was just about to ask for that frickin' whistle.
Yeah, Craven has it around his neck. It's a silver whistle that he has on a chain around his neck, like
Frank's
smaller chain.
Frank's getting down from that tree. He's grabbing a handful of MREs and he's running, but he's getting back to the others to be like, I don't think we have to worry about them tonight. They have other issues.
This is a scene from Lovecraft.
Why
I'm
kick the
"Y'all, we need
hornet's
to get
nest?"
out of here right now.
They got their own problems. I think maybe we could. Maybe we put ours a little bit of a healthy birth, or do we want to? We could maybe sleep in the trees. That might be more.
Mary's like, trees.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean, I do think if their fight launched this stuff far enough over here that it was a problem for us, we should move on a little bit before we make
of
camp.
course. We would all like to gather rations, both maybe a tad bit singed and not, and go make camp like far away
that's-
from here, like
That's a great idea, actually.
across the what the field. Hold up, roll 20.
Yeah, if we can find maybe like a copse of trees or maybe some
Can we
boulders
hide in
for
the dumpster behind Magneto's citadel? Like, I just fuck away from here.
It's like Frank doesn't want to be a part of that and doesn't want to know what's going on, but TV is like, ooh, what's the drama with the dinosaurs and Craven?
I know. No, we got this. It's I got nothing. Something cameras, but none of us have cameras. Wait, do you have cameras? And they're pointing at Moon Knight. Do you secretly have cameras?
In the jungle, no.
Like,
Ah.
In New York, yes.
See, I believed it.
would Black Cat have something on her? Like, she's got her claws and maybe like a minimum amount of equipment. I don't think she was prepared for this.
I feel like this
'Cause
is
she had
purely
some
for Petty's
tech.
sake.
I think it's acceptable to have like, the kind of tech you would have on a standard loadout. She can have, a small kind of like a spy camera for sure.
It's a GoPro.
I'm
Yeah.
like, we all make camp and settle around the fire to watch the footage from this fight with Craven.
She has a YouTube channel. What's up, fam? It's me, Black Cat, doing another heist. You guys voted,
Oh my
and this
God.
time I'm doing Fort Knox.
It's just time for the world's most illegal unboxing, and today we're doing Fortnite.
So, just unboxing here at the museum.
Remember to punch that
Oh.
bell, like and subscribe.
Like subscribe. Just going into people's like save boxes. It's time for an unboxing.
God, how do we even? Okay, I want to live in a world where that's canon. But yeah, I guess I would give the camera to Marion. Like, I mean, oh,
Like I said, this is purely for pettiness sake. So they will cackle as they climb up a tree and set it like in a direction and just be like, okay, let's go.
I will need an
question.
agility roll for that.
Gladly.
I have a question while Mary is setting those up. Do you think it'd be reasonable for Felicia to not really hack the map cube, but to mess around with it while she's just sitting there waiting? Would
It's
Mary
something
allow
she
this?
could try. Before that, I do want to say you do have trouble on that roll, Buns.
Okay.
Oh,
What do I do for trouble? Because I rolled a 21,
Trouble
so what do I
takes
take
your
away?
highest die and you re-roll it.
rip.
So my highest die is a 6, so then I will re-roll that with this lovely d6 that I have. Stop it. Oh no. Okay, so that's half of it. So instead of a 6, it's a 3 now. It was a 21 minus 3 is 18.
Okay.
Yes, it's 18. I math.
You did great. So, as you're climbing the tree, you feel that rush of wind one more time. And you feel the tree, like you plant the camera, you've got the perfect angle, wave into it a little bit, and you look up to see these two front-facing glowing eyes looking at you. Sauron has landed on the tree next to you, and he looks at you, he goes, "So, I suppose he brought friends then."
No. That guy.
I will need a logic roll from Typhoid Mary.
You said a logic roll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my logic is a +3. That's amazing. I rolled a 13. 16.
Great. You need to beat an 18 as staring into those eyes. You know telepathy. You use telepathy. He's hypnotizing you. As those eyes, kind of that light, that penetrating like eye shine just breaks through your psyche, and it's almost like a door being opened. It was locked before, it was closed, and it just cracks open just a little bit, and you feel Sauron's voice in your head as he goes, "Are there others around?"
Sure. There's at least 3.
Where are they?
Oh, but also there, and I think over there. And the 3 places that they did point was to themselves, a little below them, where their teammates actually are, and then where they know the camp is pointed is like located. Those were the 3 directions they pointed. But the way it came off doesn't necessarily. It's truthful, but it doesn't sound like it.
So those are the questions. Now he is going to issue a command. So the way that this works is he is going to give an order to a target with whom they've established this telepathic link. You have made your logic check, which did fail. On a success, you are going to comply with this order. He did not have a fantastic success, so we do not need to worry about that. So he is going to point to your weapons, and he is going to say, "Go kill whichever you think is the strongest one."
Would it have been long enough now where it would be reasonable for Frank to be taking a peek to see?
Yeah, you're also up in the tree still, right? So
I came down, so I'm down
you did come
below.
down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, Frank, as you are waiting for Mary to do this bullshit of putting this camera up, you just turn back, and in like the light of the moon, you can see this like point-headed bat-like creature. Then you can see the eye shine from where you are. These eyes are emitting light at this point, and you can see this green-clawed hand just point over to where all of you are.
Would it be possible for me to level my my weapon and take a aim for a headshot?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative. Since this is also going to be Bun's doing her thing, this will be Frank taking a shot, and we can tie in the ransacking of the camp behind you as well, where Stegron and Craven are still going at each other's throats.
That's a 17 for me.
Okay.
I also got a 17.
Okay. Would either of you prefer to go first, or would you like to use your... Actually, I'm not sure
I
if
think your
agility-
agility is probably higher than mine. Mine is a 4.
Mine's 5.
Yeah, so you go ahead of me, yeah.
I rolled an 11.
Okay.
You're a little distracted right now.
I rolled a 12. I don't think I have anything extra to in initiative.
Yeah, it
Is
either
this-
gives you an
does
edge,
this
or
count?
it's a straight roll.
Does it count as being sneaky? Because it was... No, it wouldn't count as being sneaky,
Not
would
for
it?
this one.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic success for Stegron. That doesn't really help him any. And another fantastic success for Craven. I'm glad I'm getting those out of the way now. Okay.
Thanks, I
So-
hate it.
It's gonna be fine.
19, Stegron got an 18, and Sauron got a 16. So, with that in mind, Craven and Stegron, you can hear shots fired. You can hear like the sound of like metal on something dense and thick, almost like a knife like stabbing into a drum is kind of what it sounds like, a snare drum. It's like that hollow sound. You can hear the breaking of wood and the bending of metal and just all sorts of chaos from over at the camp. Other than that, Moon Knight, it is your turn.
I think I'm not sure what this does mechanically, but since all I know at the moment is that Mary's taking a long time coming back, I think I will enter an attack stance.
Yeah, you can absolutely see that Frank has like leveled his weapon as well. But yeah, you can prepare an action, same way as like D&D works. So if there is a triggering event, you can do something with your action then, if you would like.
Would Moon Knight know that Sauron has telepathy?
Would I have been a speaker because I was connected to everyone?
Could be. If you're connected to everyone, then they would have heard what you heard. I will say without the deleterious effects. Although I could be really fun about this and have everybody do a logic roll to see if you're also going to kill the strongest person, because that's a really fun thing to see which of you thinks the other one's stronger. That's really nice. Or maybe
It's
Frank's
weird.
just like punching himself in the face.
Mary thought about it for a second. They were like,
Isn't it?
nah.
It's my other personality. I need to go to therapy.
Mutant Zero. Mutant Zero is like canonically very fucking scary. So.
Okay. If
so yes, with that in mind,
we
you would
all
have-
heard the conversation,
Mhm.
then I think. Yeah, I think Moon Knight will just get ready to attack if Sauron gets within range of throwing my darts.
Sounds good. Or we could also extend that to Stegron or Craven if you would like.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So as Moon Knight prepares for anything to get closer, Frank, it is your turn. You have leveled your weapon. If you would like to take a shot, please do so.
So I rolled it's just because I'm still kind of getting the hang of the way this works. I've been using Demiplane. I rolled in the damage little box where there's abilities and then damage.
Yes. So with Demiplane, let me pull up.
And it looks like it rolled to hit and then gave me damage as well.
Yes. So
Yeah.
in Demiplane, you have your actions. So yeah, you would click on, this would be an agility action. So for example, if I click that, it's +4. Rolled a 19, and then yeah, the damage would be your Marvel die times 5 + 4.
Okay,
I have
so
4 Marvel
when-
die, yeah.
When I did that, this is the only reason because I was like, wow, that's a lot. And I went, is that right? And that's why I just wanted to double check. My roll to hit was a 21.
Yeah, that
And
will hit
then-
Sauron.
And then the Marvel die times 5 + 4 times 2 is 68 damage,
Okay.
is what it said.
Yeah,
And that's why I was like,
Shiver me
Did you get was it a Marvel die? Was that what it was?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so yeah,
so.
it'll double your damage. Okay. Yeah, Frank, why don't you describe this shot? You don't take Sauron out entirely, but it does a significant amount of damage. So if you'd like to describe that, please do.
I think I'm aiming for a headshot, but it is dark and frightful. And I think he just is immediately like, oh, he's pulling some shit. And I get him maybe in like the chest shoulder area, and it just like it's more of a like punch in the face than an actual like Ideally, I can knock him back and out of the tree. Is kind of my hope.
Absolutely.
Losing people's
Uh,
apples.
And to that, because it is his turn next, Typhoid Mary, as you are seeing through this haze right now, like your vision has gone red, you do see Sauron like a Kevlar vest. You see the bullet just compress against this, like what he has something called prehistoric hide, and so it does not fully hit him, but it hits pretty hard as he is knocked back and kind of spreads his wings and starts to flap, and he goes, "Go get them!" And then he is also going to take his turn. I'm sorry, but real quick, did you have anything else for Punisher TV?
I'm gonna duck back behind the tree I'm by, just as a sort of like,
Cover.
just to give myself some cover.
There is literally something called Skulk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, where you can hide behind a person and make the person the target of the next
Shield.
attack. Yeah, exactly. But you also can sneak or hide, which there we go. Doesn't want to be observed. Okay, so if he is trying to target you, he will have to make a vigilance check against your agility defense. And
Yes.
if he gets that, he'll be able to beat you. So we can call it that, unless you wanted to hide behind.
Yeah, I'm just hiding.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well then, with Sauron's turn, he is, having taken that big of a hit, he is going to soar towards all of you, with Moon Knight being a pretty big target and one that's ready to hit. Cass, if you want to have Moon Knight do your attack, Sauron is absolutely going to get in your space on this one.
Okay. That's a really bad roll. I don't know. Failing is fun. So that's a 12.
Okay, and this is a melee attack. That actually does hit.
It's for the darts. As soon as he starts flying, throwing darts.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Agility
Yeah.
attack. Okay.
Yeah, he has
Cool.
an 11 agility defense. So what is your damage for that?
Damage is 23.
Okay. So, as he takes all of these Moon Knight, these crescent darts, he's looking pretty rough. He's trying to dodge out of the way. You've like ripped through part of the wing, and he's kind of doing like a barrel roll, but he sticks one of these big green clawed hands out and just smacks you right in the face and grabs you around the head, and he is going to do a leech life on you. So this is going to be a roll against your ego defense, and that is, come on, just click the thing. That is a 17.
That will succeed.
Okay, so you are going to take 20 damage, and he is going to regain 20 damage, and you can consider yourself grabbed at this point. So anyone making attack against the two entangled characters has trouble. If the attack against the intended target fails, compare the same check against the other target's agility. So Sauron has basically like grabbed Moon Knight by the head and wrapped his wings around him. So if you go to attack Sauron and you don't hit Sauron, you might hit Moon Knight instead.
Hey, you don't happen to know where Dracula is, do you? I'm looking for him.
No, I don't know what Dracula is. What a weird question. So Sauron. Also, if the attacker doesn't care who it hits, the attacker has edge on their attack. So if you don't care if you hit Moon Knight, you'll get such a good advantage on it. That's a wild rule. Okay, great. So as you watch some vitality return to Sauron as he is trying to vampire you, not understand the connection himself, that is going to be it for his turn. And Black Cat, it is now your turn.
Okay, first things first, where? Okay, so if I'm where we were like setting up camp or hanging out, where is Felicia in relation to Raven at this point?
In relation to Craven, Craven is going to be all the way back at camp right now. So they're probably, you skirted pretty far away out of the light area of the Craven camp. So I'm going to say they're probably about 100 feet away from you right now. At least.
And the vibe is that these guys don't like Craven?
The vibe is that Stegron and Sauron seem to be attacking Craven's camp. And seem to be pretty pissed at him for whatever reason at this point.
I'm gonna attempt something crazy. And not sneaky. I'm going to attempt diplomacy.
Okay.
Ego, Black Cat's other main weapon. I think she's gonna walk up to the two of them and she's gonna open with this line. She says, hey, I think we've got a common enemy here.
Who are you
We're
saying
not
that?
the
Are you saying that to
ones who
Stegron or to Craven?
No, to Stegron, because he's closer, right?
I mean, they're fighting each other pretty close at this point. Like Craven's trying to get distance and shoot, but yeah, they're both in the camp. So,
are they?
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the camp. I thought we were further away, and
You were 100 feet from the camp. You have Sauron, which is up in a tree with Typhoid Mary. Or actually, I'm sorry. Sauron is now entangled with Moon Knight. Typhoid Mary is still in the tree. And then you have Stegron. I know their names are very similar.
Sorry.
You have Stegron and Craven, who are about 100 feet away in the camp.
I don't think they know. I don't think they knew we were here yet.
Like, okay. I'm gonna. The guy fighting Moon Knight. I'm gonna attempt to diplomacy. So I'm gonna attempt to diplomacy Sauron.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, hey, I think we have a common enemy. They're not the guy you want to fight.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's. This does sound like an ego roll. I want to double check. Yeah, self-confidence, personal magnetism, force of personality. Sure. If you would like to make an ego check, if you have any powers you'd like to attach to that, go for it. But this will be trying to reason with.
Do any of these traits help me? I have a list of traits like fearless, public identity, streetwise.
Yeah, you can always click on them to see what they do. Let me see if.
I don't have access to the. Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, wait. Some of these are publicly available. Public identity. I mean, Black Cat is pretty widely known.
Sure.
Hold on.
You do have an edge on making an ego check to persuade someone who could be attracted to you. I'm not sure you're Sauron's type, but I'll give you an edge on it nonetheless. You're not a dinosaur, which means you're not exactly his type, but it's still Black Cat. I think that's, I'll be fair about that one. Let's see. This one.
I just can't.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing you have to be an edge. Yeah. Actually, I'll give you 2 edge because this is also. Fearless does give you edge on any action checks required to deal with fear, and this is, Moon Knight's getting the life sucked out of him. You've got Typhoid Mary hypnotically trying to murder people, and Sauron's already taken a straight shot from the Punisher. So if you want to have 2 edge on this.
Great, I rolled a 20.
Okay, so that will be against Sauron's ego, and he only has a 12. So Sauron looks up at you again. He has these wings just fully wrapped around Moon Knight. You can see Moon Knight's head and just like this claw that's like on the top of his hood. And he looks over to you, this very pointed beak, this elongated pterosaur-like head, and he goes, "What are you talking about?"
Craven. We're not with him. You're
Then who
attacking
are
the
you
wrong
with?
people. We were just passing by, minding our own business. Really?
Who
And then
has...
she... Sorry, go on.
No, you're good.
No.
Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say... I have some personal beef with Craven, too. Really, this is just a big misunderstanding.
No one just passes by the Savage Lands. You know that's the weird thing to say, I hope. But
People go on vacation here. It's not that weird.
not this spot.
We got a little turned around. It's not a big deal. Really, we don't want to fight you.
Wait, I know you. You're that void kitten. No, something like that. Black night cat.
Close enough. Close enough. Then,
What
if
i-
you know who I am, then you know my reoccurring issues with Craven.
I know you're not from around here.
And he looks down at Moon Knight.
I know you're not from around here.
He looks over at Punisher.
What are all of you doing? Why are you dressed the same?
You considered maybe we're here for something else?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Shield business.
Ugh.
And he lets go of Moon Knight.
Sorry for eating you or whatever. Listen, I don't want any problems with S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? I'm doing my own thing around here, and I don't need anybody's business getting in my business. Craven's been killing my dinosaurs a bunch, and I'm just... well, I'm a bit peeved.
Yeah, that was definitely Craven. Definitely Craven. You know, if you you see Felicia start to think about it like, could this guy help me get rid of my problem so I don't have to deal with it later? But instead she just says, we can make sure S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't get in your way
Great!
and let you do
And
your
then
own
I can
thing.
turn you all into dinosaur people.
Here, for just from down below in the voice, just fucking hell.
Is that a yes?
No. No.
Oh, alright, well...
You want your freedom? You're gonna have to give ours too, without the dinosaur treatment.
Listen, I'm going to turn you into dinosaur people one way or another.
And he lets out this high-pitched screech.
And it goes, Stegron, more meat!
We're going to continue our initiative order. You've at least released Moon Knight for this turn, thanks to your ego roll.
Okay,
Sauron
so that's
is-
like a major action situation, like.
Yeah, that was your action to convince him, and that was pretty good convincing. Moon Knight is no longer grabbed, which is pretty nice. But Sauron is pretty singularly minded, famously, on
No,
turning people
that's
into
fair.
dinosaur people. Yeah.
Can Okay, could I use a reaction when he says, I'm still gonna turn you into dinosaur people? Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to figure out which reaction I want to do real quick. I would like to, there's a movement action. Oh wait, that's not what I want. The wrong tag. How far away is Frank from all of this?
Frank was pretty up in the mix of all of it. He got down, he aimed his weapon, so he's got to be within 10, maybe 20 feet tops from where you are.
Well. Okay, that's not gonna help me. But I didn't do ram. Instead of skulking behind a person, can I skulk behind a tree if it's closer than
That would be
Frank
the
would be?
hide action, like what Frank did. So Frank is also hid behind a tree. So
Okay,
it would just
can I
mean
do-
that. Yeah.
Can I do a hide then as
There's
my
no
reaction?
roll needed. It's just whenever if someone was going to attack you, then you would have to make a vigilance check against your agility.
Okay. I'm gonna do that then. I'm be like, no, you're not gonna turn me into a dinosaur. Bye.
Okay. Then it is now Typhoid Mary's turn. So, Mary, you have the one action of trying to kill whoever you think is the strongest. How would you like to play that out?
There's two things that happen. One is interrupted by the fact that Sauron picks up Moon Knight. So it takes, because at first they're like, hey, Moon Knight, Frank, can y'all play rock paper scissors for me real quick? I just need to know something. And then Sauron picks up Moon Knight and like Fletcher goes, never mind. And then their body just kind of goes sideways as they fall off this branch and come to land down. And at first, Frank is like, okay, shot them. They went to go fly away, and then you see Mary start to fall. And I would assume Frank would try to kind of go, oh crap, they're falling. So like kind of go over there, maybe try to catch them. Is that something they would do?
That is something Frank would probably do, yeah.
They are falling very limply at first, like basically getting you like, all right, I got you. And then when your body center of gravity like goes, huh, to like brace for the impact of their body. And you have all your goodies, like your vests and everything on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They go down, and they land, but they land with their feet like on your chest and hold on to the back of your neck, and then they go, bye bye, and any rounds you have on your body are gonna try to go boom.
Trying to explode all my bombs?
Trying to explode all your bullets, all your bombs. We are going to become a dirty bomb. It's a group effort.
So,
Okay.
okay.
I was told to try to kill somebody. I can totally tone that the hell down.
It just seems more like a DM decision than a Frank decision. I don't know how to stop that.
This is absolutely PvP, and I meant to check before that everybody's chill with PvP. If you are not, please feel free to say so. That is absolutely something. We can absolutely cut out Sauron's hypnotic gaze. However, what I will consider this, if we are cool, will be an attack. This will be essentially use a power. I'm going to see how I loaded out Typhoid Mary.
Yeah, who is temporarily Bloody Mary right now, that they have been given a target, which is why they're going so hard.
Yeah, and I'm fine with PvP. I just was like, oh, I don't know how to stop that. I can't do anything about that, so I'm just a man.
No.
I don't have powers. I'm just a guy.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna call it not for me. But if y'all wanna,
no, like I said, I can definitely tone it down where it's still they land on them and you get one of these, like super hard, like your dome.
I just mean
a telepathic attack. I can do it that way.
Yeah, I just don't want to participate in it. Makes me a little uncomfy.
100%.
If you don't mind, though, if you guys are gonna engage in this now, I'm gonna get a glass of water.
Okay, I'm trying to see what everything you have. So, battle ready, abrasive, determination, during constitution. I gave you fire powers, but I'm not seeing them now. Let's call this a just a melee attack, and we can see how that shakes out from there.
Sweat off my lips.
So, what is your attack roll?
What would I be using specifically? Am I just clicking a power?
We can just call this, let's call this a melee attack, so it's just your standard attack action.
Attack, okay. Melee. Result 13. To hit?
Okay, so a 13 does not beat Frank's melee defense. So whether it is because that Frank shoves you back when he sees like the energy charging out of you, or whether it's because Frank is wearing Kevlar, I'm gonna say that he gets pushed back. What is your melee defense score?
My melee defense is...
Let's see. You also have a 14. So whether you
That's
also...
probably why we just kind of stalemated.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm gonna say that you get pushed back 10 feet from one another, and Frank, you absolutely do have like these side bandoliers with all of these shotgun shells. I don't even think you have a shotgun. You just have them just in case. They have all just went pop, pop, pop like little firecrackers. But both of you are undamaged by this, and Typhoid Mary is now as lucid as she was before. She's no longer under the hypnosis of Sauron. It's just that one turn. So you both kind of
And they
look at
think
each
they're
other.
as strong as Frank now.
It's just like,
Not me, lizard brain. I had lizard brain.
that's why I shot him.
Aw.
Okay, with that, let's go back to top of the order. Craven is going to continue his attacks on Stegron, so I will reduce Stegron's damage if needs be. Stegron, on the other hand, is going to answer the call of Sauron, and he is going to come charging, knocking down another one of the tents, the last standing tent, the one that separated your vision between your two groups. And he is going to use his movement to get closer and closer to you. You're already 100 feet away, so he is charging at this point. He's going to have to take all of his mobile ability to even reach you. So that is going to be his turn. However, he is absolutely doing a full-on ram attack when he reaches one of you. With that in mind, Moon Knight, you have been released from Sauron, who still seems pretty aggro. What would you like to do?
There's an awful lot going on because Mary just fell and Punisher's vest exploded, but everyone over there looks fine from where I'm falling through the air. But 100% I think Moon Knight just is like watching Sauron as he's let go, and Sauron still being like, no, I'm gonna turn you into dinosaurs. As Moon Knight's falling, he's just with the darts.
I'm being reasonable. Go ahead and make an attack.
All right. That's a 22 total. Fantastic roll.
Dang. Okay, so that will double your damage as well, and absolutely does hit Sauron's defense. So, what is your damage for that?
That's 70 because of the double.
That's insane. Okay, Sauron had 37 hit points left. So with 70, this is non-canonical, or at least our world. You can make this lethal or not. You are the Thunderbolts. The rules are kind of a little outside your bubble. How would you like to take out Sauron?
On the one hand, I totally love the idea of Moon Knight just being like, no, I'm killing this guy. But also, I thought of a joke to have my character say, so I'm going to do it that way.
Okay.
I do, I cut him and nick him, and I put enough tears in his wings to make him want to retreat. And because Stegron's running at him, I'm just like, take your boyfriend and get out of here.
Great. Okay. So as Sauron takes like a Moon Knight dart right to the side of his cranium, those glowing eyes, like the glow just fades from them, and he just crumples in this heap of leathery wings and scaly skin. And I think his last words are, "Oh shit," and he topples to the ground. Great. Anything else for your turn?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, Sauron's unconscious, so that is his turn. You do have Stegron chasing, running towards all of you now. Black Cat, you are hidden, but it is your turn. You don't see Stegron coming right at you, but is there anything you'd like to do? I can't hear you.
I should probably unmute myself. That'd be helpful. I would like to. Okay, so how far is Stegron now?
Stegron is just
from
about
the trees.
just about 40 feet from Moon Knight. It seems like who he's going after right now. Again, Beacon isn't hidden. Just took out Sauron, obvious target. So about 40 feet. You'd be able to reach him by the end of his next turn.
Okay. Wait, did you say Stegron was out? Or
Sauron has been knocked out. Stegron, the bigger guy, he is still up and heading towards him.
Sorry,
Heading
can I
towards
ask,
Moon Knight.
whose turn?
Towards Moon Knight?
Whose turn are we on?
We're on.
Mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I skipped Punishers.
Oh.
I did because I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Hold that thought for me, and I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I just had a moment where I was like, I don't remember doing anything for a while.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. So we're gonna wrap up right at the end of this turn order. So Frank, go ahead and do your thing, and then we'll do Black Cat and Typhoid Mary, and then we'll wrap up for the night.
All right. Well, with Sauron out of commission and Stegron running towards us, I would love to if I can, because I count as a like one size larger when I try and grab people. So I was hoping that as he comes running, I might be able to use my reaction to kind of grab him. Maybe.
Yeah, you can use your reaction to grab him for sure.
And just kind of grapple this guy if possibly.
Yeah. Let's see. So grappling Stegron. Let's see. So you're going to do a grab. That is. Make a melee check against the target's melee defense, and if you succeed, you have grabbed the target. On a fantastic success, the target is pinned.
Okay. That was a 16.
Okay. Stegron has a melee defense of, that's great, 14. So you do beat his melee defense. So you go running towards this pretty large Stegosaurus man, tail whipping about with these spikes, and Frank, just an absolute Frank the Tank, absolutely you hurl your body into his, are able to like stop that momentum.
Yeah, and that's gonna be, I think, just my turn. I think that might be a Frank's doing everything to just kind of. He may be a tough motherfucker, but he is still just a guy.
Absolutely. Okay.
But isn't that why
Still a
we love him so
Stegosaurus
much?
man.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So then, yes, Anne, it is your turn. So Stegron has been stopped, again, just about 40 feet from where you are, and it seems to be grappling now with Frank, as Frank is just a dude, and yet holding back this superhuman creature.
Why I love him. Doesn't have any superpowers. I will hold back this dinosaur man. Spite and bitterness
so
and PTSD.
I have so many options, but none of these feel okay. Remind me again what the distance limitations are for jinx you all and trying to jinx the multiple people. Is there a distance limitation?
Jinx you all. 5 spaces per rank, so that would be 25 feet.
And how far away is Stegron from Craven?
Actually, I'm sorry, that's 20 feet because you're rank 4. Stegron is now 60 feet from...
Okay, that's too far. In that case, I am going to activate a power and spend 5 focus to jinx. To do a jinx you for what's his face? Stegron.
Okay. So Stegron is grabbed and jinxed. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang back and see how this plays out.
Okay. Great. Then last in our turn order is Typhoid Mary.
Have said that they are that was Lizard Brain. We've explained that Frank is not actively trying to get revenge. So now they're that like the moment of going not me. After that, wherever Frank kind of points his ire is sort of where Mary will go next. It's like there's like that flash of no, and then it immediately went back into the kind of crazed focus that he had just gotten very close to, very quickly. Before I feel like we're split technically right now. Sauron's gone, but 2 of us are basically over here, and then 20-30 feet away from us is Stegron. Are they still 100 feet away in the camp? That's what I don't.
Stegron's about 40 feet from where you are. If you're near Punisher, you've got Felicia hiding behind a tree. You and Frank just kind of separate each other just a little bit, just about 2 spaces.
While we're facing off Stegron, and where's Moon Knight?
Moon Knight was originally Stegron's target, so Frank ran off to intercept Stegron. So now you've got this like straight line of Stegron right up against Frank, and then about 40 feet away Moon Knight. And then if you were going to make a triangle out of that, you would be this point where Stegron would be the top point here. So you've got like this weird little shape of Moon Knight down here, Stegron and Punisher, and then you.
Gotcha. I would like to taunt Stegron so that we can set up flanking for everybody to be around him instead of being in a triangle.
For sure.
Okay. That would kind of be my next thing, using my knives to kind of like throw them at his feet to make him move to where I want him to move.
Okay. So, this is trigger inflicts health and focus damage on foe, uses the reaction. Okay. So typically it looks like that taunt comes after an attack. You're trying to like gain that attention. So if you would like to do a ranged attack or run up and taunt from there, attack and then taunt. And this is going to be based off of the amount of damage that you do. So you'll make an ego check after your attack, and that'll be based off of the damage that you did.
Just do a stand. This is a melee, yeah? Or would this be agility?
It is up to you. If you are staying where you are and doing an agility attack, you absolutely can. If you want to run up and do a melee attack, you can do that as well.
Because I don't know how I would disarm Stegron. I can't really think of how I could disarm him unless I was using something around me to like wrap it around his mouth to avoid teeth.
Yeah, you got teeth, claws, and tails. He's not exactly. He's not weaponed. He has regular arms. He has the right to dinosaur arms.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to literally disarm him to disarm him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do have frag grenades, but my hands are full.
That's fair.
It's Punisher's greatest problem.
So then let's do an agility since that's a +5. Shasha. 18?
Yeah, 18 is definitely going to beat his score.
I need you to understand, I did not mean for this to be the damage that I did.
What is the damage?
It's 35.
Okay. I know damage sounds like a lot sometimes. You need to
It
realize that some of these
does.
characters are like the Juggernaut and have just so much
That's
fucking shit.
Why? When I rolled to 68 earlier, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
What is
Surely that's not
happening?
correct.
But
No, the
yes.
fact that this game has multipliers in it is just, yeah.
It's like, this
It's
man's
wild.
a dinosaur. Are we sure?
And yes, he does have damage reduction. He has damage reduction 1, so he's going to reduce that by 1. Same thing with Sauron. But when we pick up next time, Stegron is grabbed by the Punisher, jinxed by Black Cat, taunted by Typhoid Mary, and probably in the crosshairs of Moon Knight. I would hate to be him. It's, yeah, you know, you pick your battles, and sometimes you lose them. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Thunderbolts Savage. I am going to have these lovely people say more about themselves and where you can find more of them. Buns, do you need a dip?
Kinda, yeah. So I can
You're
go
totally
first,
fine.
if that's okay.
Yeah, please. I'm gonna do all this stuff. I want to have Buns do her calls real quick, or her plugs. So Buns, thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find more of your lovely self?
Well, if you would like to not only see more of me, but deal with me in charge, then you can go over to Magpie Games and see how you feel about me being your masked DM. That's right, these superheroes, but on purpose. That's kind of all I'm doing right now.
Fantastic.
Anything else, you can find me on Honey Buns over on Twitch, where I might be playing South of Midnight.
Awesome. Please check out Magpie Games. Buns, thank you so much. Take care. We will see you next time.
Great, I'm just gonna put my camera up.
Bye bye.
Yeah, you're good.
Game over.
Game over.
Oh, that's a really nice game over.
That's cute.
It's great. Okay, so for the rest of our stuff, I've been Derek Sword. I remain Derek Sword. I use he him pronouns. I have been your GM for this game. I'm gonna have the rest of these lovely people say more about themselves and where you can find more of them, and I highly recommend you do. Then we'll do some channel stuff, and that'll be it for the night. So let's see, Anne, if you don't mind starting us out, where can we find more of your lovely self?
Hi. I'm Anne. I was playing Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat. You can find me on Blue Sky at thegirlwonder.bsky.social and on my own Twitch channel, Bardic Inspiration Network. I have streams happening on Mondays usually, so you can find me there. And I'll be starting up some new stuff that I can announce soon-ish. So check me out on Blue Sky. That's the easiest way to find me.
Great. Thank you so much. Next up, we have TV.
Hi, I'm TV. I always forget to do it at the top of the game. My pronouns are she, her. I do this every time, where I'm always like, oh, there's other criteria. You can find me on a variety of websites across the internet at TV Feral. I have a couple of things on the work right now, but they're not ready to announce. So eventually, if you want to know about them, follow me where you follow people. Kisses.
I like that. That's nice. Next up, we have Cass.
I'm Cass. I was playing The Moon Haunts You! And you can find me on Blue Sky at CassiopeiaTwilight.itch.io, which is also the link to my itch.io page if you want to check out my honey heist hacks, where one of them is you get to be an octopus pirate, or my sad vampire short story, which was based off of a TTRPG session. Stuff like that. That's all I've got.
Awesome. Thank you all so very much. Thank you to my wonderful cast. Thank you to all of you in the audience. Thank you to those who have been able to donate to Living Arts Detroit. Fantastic organization. You can donate at any time and impact this game for whatever the next one's going to be. Our next one is our penultimate episode, so bear that in mind. Again, I'm Derek Sword. Sword is my last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. I have been your GM. I do use he, him pronouns. And looking at Sword and Key, you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find our socials. There's Blue Sky and Instagram. We're not using Twitter right now. You can find links to join our Discord. It's a great place. Hang out with fun people like these or lots of other people and talk about, I mean, really almost anything. just be chill, be cool, and you're more than welcome. We also do bi-weekly movie nights on our Discord that are totally free. I'll talk about more of that when we get to our calendar. Also on our beacons, you can find links to our affiliates. We have some great affiliates like Long Dog Dice. Jen makes incredible dice sets. I have a set that is on its way now that I'm very excited for. That is a custom set that she's actually going to be adding to her shop once I receive them, so you could have the same dice I have, which is kind of cool. And you can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there. We're also affiliates with, nope, we're not affiliates with them anymore. They don't exist. With Eldritch Foundry, which is a custom mini maker. So no matter how weird and wild your character might be, you can make a mini for them. They have some really cool mounts that they've just added, like armored bears and like sandworms from Dune. Some pretty cool stuff. So check them out if you're looking to make a mini of your character. And code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase there too. We're also affiliates with Hit Point Press, the makers of Humblewood and animated spell cards, and Griffin Saddlebag. They have music licenses. They have VTT stuff. They have minis. They have plush even, as well as all the books and cards and TTRPG accessories. So check them out. Use our custom link if you're going to purchase anything. It's very much appreciated. Looking at everything else on our beacons, we have links to Living Arts Detroit, the Tiltify for that, which you can donate to at any time. Other charitable organizations, should you be willing and able to put your money towards a great cause, as well as some pallies if you're looking to tip some of our players in the games that aren't charity based. You can also find links to Monster Crush, the podcast that LD and I do. It's currently the only podcast that's part of the Sword and Key Network, but it is a podcast about monsters, cryptids, creatures, miscellaneous monsters from myth, how smoochable they are. We are going to be releasing episode 102, which is Mother's Day. We are talking about monster mommies, probably later tonight. So check it out wherever podcasts are found. And you can always find links to all of the other really cool stuff, like our YouTube and the Twitch. If you're watching this live, you've already found it. Give us a follow. Yeah. Check it out. Looking at our calendar, which I totally have pulled up. Today is the 11th. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, that's Monday, and Monday's going forward, but especially tomorrow. Tomorrow is the premiere of Fragments of Loss. It is Heroics Chord game, which is going to be run by Angela, Phoenix 24 Femme. It's a really cool setting. It's like Rangers in a post almost like somewhat fantasy dystopian sort of world, as I understand it. I've seen a lot of the background stuff, as I'm not directly involved in that game, but Angela's a fantastic GM. It's a great cast. Highly recommend checking that out, and that will be 3 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays going forward. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have Gate Night. That is where LD Shadow and I play Baldur's Gate 3, the only video game streamed here currently on Sword and Key. This coming Friday the 16th, we have our next movie night. Again, we have movie nights that are free on our Discord. All you have to do is be a member and join in. They're late for some folks. I get East Coast, but it's also when I get home from work. So 6 p.m. Pacific time, since it's AAPI month, we are going to be watching movies that feature AAPI casts as well as directors. So this week we are watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, the 2022 Academy Award winner. And then on the 17th and Saturdays going forward at 3 p.m. Pacific time, we have Horizon's Call, our 4 to 5 year ongoing Oceanic campaign. We just added a new permanent cast member, being the wonderful Jen from Long Dog Dice. So we're very excited. She's playing a tiefling cleric named Callista. And then next week, on Sunday the 18th, we will have Tales from the Loop back at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's Tales from the Loop, Signals from Above. Thunderbolts will be back for their penultimate episode at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And then that's just stuff going forward. The other thing I do want to announce is that we will have applications out for Pride Month here very soon. We've had a number of great applications for some folks to to run the games rather. We're going to have applications out soon for folks to play in those games once we have our lineup sorted. So keep an eye out. Discord's always going to be the first place that we post them. Social media second. And if you ever want to play in a game on this channel, it's a great opportunity to do so and also raise some money for a great cause. This year we're supporting Land Illegal. So, all that said, until next time, I hope to see you sooner rather than later. If not in a week, even sooner than that, please take care of yourselves, take care of others, be kind to yourself, and make mine Marvel. Oh yeah, also fuck Disney. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but it's important to say nonetheless. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.